How's it going, everyone? Happy Monday. Yeah, I was like, what day is it? I couldn't remember. Happy Monday. Hope you're doing excellent out there. Hope you're having a excellent start of your week. Oh, we got a lot to talk about. Not much of an intro today. No monologue. I'll just bring fast in. We'll get into it. We got a ton of stuff. Get your questions in the chat with as many as we can. No expectations there, but boy. Very fun stuff. Anyways, without further ado, he's wearing the same background as I have the shirt. Fast Abdul. How's it going? Oh, you're on mute. Represent the greenest logo. The greenest logo. I'll talk for you. We're going to go get some pumps in while we're waiting. Come on, microphone. Oh, you're back. He's back. Welcome.
Yeah, Mike, I need to buy a new microphone. This one doesn't owe me anything anymore.
You know what? After a while, they go bad, or the cables do thereof. Yeah.
I'm suspicious of this cable. I want to get one of the ones that just has USB-C to USB-C, because I got this weird printer cable looking thing. It's terrible.
It's okay. Out. In the bull market, we're going to upgrade your whole. You're going to get a new microphone, 7 microphones if you want, 69 microphones if you wish.
I'm gonna. Yeah, have a whole room where it's just me and microphones.
You just get to go to each one. Hey, fast. I'm here. It'd be pretty funny.
So handy.
How's it going, man? Are you excited?
I am pretty bullish about the sack wallet getting rugged. How about you?
Getting rugged? Yeah, that's the best conspiracy theory I've seen so far. Is sack wallet got rugged, which I guess would be like it got compromised, and they were tornado cashing it out. Like that was the explanation.
Yeah. I think they would have moved faster if it was hackers,
I wouldn't know. I don't have a lot of, I don't, not a cyber criminal or anything, but boy, I would say that that's the least thing on my mind is Richard getting compromised or OA or company or, giant whale who we believe benevolent getting compromised. But I'm thinking he's back. I'm going to keep talking until Fast gets his microphone figured out. Everybody like this picture? I spent a couple different prompts getting this to work. I first gave him I was like, do the John Wick, I'm thinking I'm back meme. I just let Manus figure it out. And then I said, do it with Richard Hart, do a face swap. And it came back with a couple. I'm like, oh, these are not good. It had like blood all over his face. I'm like, no, I don't want blood on his face. And then I was like, I took a screenshot. I looked up the meme itself. I said, no, do this, but make it with Richard Hart. And it did another one. And I was like, this is just not that good. It's like just weird.
That's not bad.
This is the third one. This is the third one. I'm like, okay. The third batch. There's like, I said, like, do 10 or 20 each. Let me pick one. And then I picked this one. This was the best one.
Yeah, not bad at all. Yeah, the AI is getting pretty crazy, especially with the videos. It's like you really have to have your AI brain on. Like, oh, is this real? No, this is AI. And you almost need to know what to look for to distinguish them anymore.
You're telling me that this isn't a real picture of Richard Hart?
I feel strongly that it's not. It's not really his ripped clothing, just been in a fight style. Is not as usual.
He's been fighting for years, fighting for freedom, metaphorically and literally, I guess.
Yeah, less so with his fists, I suspect. I could be wrong, but
it looks a little younger here. It looks like in early 30s. Looks less like a dev or a founder who's been up for nights and nights making sure that we have no expectation of what he's working on, type of thing.
Indeed. And we can tell he's been working because, everybody follows his every followable move. We had that giant 12-hour AMA session live on X. That was pretty crazy. Followed by, some serious sack wallet action here. So I feel like he's engaged.
What do you mean sack wallet action? Would that be, whoa, why did the sack wallet get drained? What happened? Only $3 million. That's pennies. 99% down.
$3 million is enough to 10x.
We're in the right ecosystem. It's not the right ecosystem. We're in the right ecosystem when you see 99% down. Boom.
we go.
Let's go. Yeah. So everyone who's been sleeping under a rock the last, I want to say 18 hours, a ton of ETH. I first saw it when it was like 40,000 or something like that. And then I keep seeing updates from CryptoSolve and from Feline Capital. And I saw that you made some posts on it. And I'm just like, what, man? Well, I thought, 40K, okay, a big chunk of it's moving out. But then I just kept saying more and more and more. I'm like, what? Wow.
Yeah, I kept having to update my updates because I was like, wow, 40,000 ETH. And it's like, no, like 100,000 ETH. Like, it's like, no, all the ETH. So it's huge.
It's crazy.
What do you think he's up to?
Oh, I mean, that's the thing.
We're speculating, of course. No one knows. But,
well, I mean, what everyone wants to happen, right, is to, it to go back into PulseChain in some way, right? And that can happen 10 different ways. We can talk about it. And I think what's more, what's interesting here is the things that have happened leading up to this. We've seen the mega marketing kickoff. We've seen him start talking, like you said, the AMA style stuff on X he did the other day. Like I heard him talk to the community in years. It's crazy.
Responding to people directly, which makes me wonder like I always thought there was a legal reason he wasn't doing it for like 2 years, basically not responding to a single human on X or anywhere else. But like I would wonder if you can do that on X, like respond in pretty much real time to community questions directly to the person. Could he not do a live stream and just do the same thing? Like, what's the difference?
Yeah, I mean that it certainly seems like he's more free in that way, and it's again coinciding with we've talked about the Interpol appears to be update stuff in the system of Interpol for that. So it seems like there may be some updates there. We don't know what they are, but there's speculation on movement there, which occurred around the same time. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, just a bunch of stuff got tornado cashed out, like hundreds of millions of dollars, $600 million got tornado cashed out. And that's the thing too, like people, it's like some people, I feel like we have like two sides. Like some people, they don't want to talk about the moves and what's going on, like all the stuff on chain, but I'm in the camp of like, it's happening on chain. Like I'm pretty sure Genius Billionaire Founder guy knows that as soon as the SAC money goes somewhere, there's going to be people watching wallets, not just in the community. Actually, one of the stories that came out, I'll pull it up too, was what was the account? Look into blockchain or something. Let me go find it.
Well, right, I know the one. 0 something or other. That one or
let me find it. I'll pull it up. Look on chain. Look on chain. I'll pull this.
Look on chain. Right. Okay.
So it's this stuff's on chain. There's people outside of the community even they're looking on chain for this stuff. And I wonder if he did, if it is Richard moving this money around and he did want to have privacy for it, I wonder if he would, that's right. He would put it through a tornado cash type thing to go get privacy when ready. And that's just what he did. So like, I can't think of a single reason like why I would speculate that it's better to like not talk about these moves and stuff. Like the ROI for talking about it is excitement. Like it's like way more in that side. And the person doing it knows people can see it anyways. So
I agree. And I've struggled with that too. Be like, should I be reporting these, wallet movements? But it's like, we're not digging that deep to get this level of report. And as you're showing, like, other entities that are not interested in PulseChain or may even not know we exist are reporting these moves. So it's like, it's public information on this level. Will I dig down and try to follow wallets, find out what wallets they move to after tornado cash? Like, no, I don't think I would.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of people who will though. That's the thing. It's like, it don't matter if I don't do it and you don't do it. And like 99% of the community doesn't, 99% of the world doesn't do it. It's like, it's kind of, that's why I always optimize towards transparency instead of like hiding and, I need like this information edge and all this stuff. There's a time and place for that kind of thing. But if it's public on a blockchain, even Richard, another point, like if he wanted it to remain private, why would he told us about the ETH treasury. He told us about, he's like, I think they're missing one, right? Like put them on the treasury. It's like,
he wanted it publicly. He wants the whole world to know that moved.
Exactly.
And he knows that we're looking at all this stuff. Even after things have been gone through Tornado Cash, he knows that people are trying to follow where it went, which makes me think that if he didn't want us to be able to follow, he would probably do it better in a different way. And I suspect we'll probably see that with some of these funds. I even by myself, I'm able to think of ways like, okay, how could you make it so the wallet watchers couldn't catch it on either end? And like, yeah, there's ways he can make us not see where this goes until it's obvious, or he can let us follow the whole way depending on his purpose.
I think the most reasonable scenario is he knew the whole time, like when they were getting converted from DAI to ETH, everyone can see it. There's a certain point where it can become private, and for a while, Tornado Cash was banned or sanctioned or whatever too, and then that got lifted, and then again, I speculate. I can imagine him looking at it and be like, "Oh, cool. Well, now when I want it to be private, it can be private," and then he's choosing the time of when to do it. And again, a little bit of funds came out, a little bit more came out. Was it like 20 million and then 25 million, or no, like 5 million and then 25 million, something like that. Two different scenarios when Tornado Cash stuff, ETH moved, Tornado cashed out in the last few months, I believe. And now pretty much the whole thing, 99% of it did. So this post alone, by the way, got 631,000 views.
Cool. And look at the comment right underneath from Mr. Fuckwitz there. Immediately asked,
what exchange can I buy the HEX Ethereum HEX on? Good question. What exchange? I mean, exchange. When I think of exchange, I think of centralized exchange. I mean, my first thought is Uniswap or CowSwap or.
I wonder what he's asking. If
my Ethereum knowledge is leaving me since PulseChain, but yeah.
But yeah, Uniswap is the right answer for him, or one of the Matcha or one of the DEX aggregators on Ethereum.
Yeah. Or
Portal X works great too.
But this is, I just want to talk about that for a minute, because I think there's people like, oh, it's kind of like this nervous thing of like, no, don't, they're nervous about the bags and something happening. It's like, if anyone, we already went through SEC, beat them, going to be Interpol, because that's like sham stuff too. We've already got all kinds of clearance, all this stuff. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Whatever's not, and nothing from now on could be total glory. We don't know, but it's not like having an effect. Like, Look on Chain is getting almost 1 million, may get 1 million views on this post. And, I got maybe over 100 people live watching right now. So me and everyone else who's talked about it and on X and stuff too. So anyways, I just want to give everyone a fresh perspective. If you are like, oh, should we talk about it? Should we not talk about it? It's like, I hold the perspective of, if he wanted to be private, it would be private and he knows that it's not going to be private until he wants to be private. So just, he knows how to handle these things. Like genius billionaire founder guy. Anyways,
the amount of money though, right? Like we're talking like yesterday, $600 million, and I think like we go back to April, I think at like $652 million or something like that. Give or take a couple bucks. It's a lot of money.
Wow. And it could be billions. And he's exercised the right to privacy. Whoever owns those keys have exercised the right of privacy to through a. Yeah, I'm going to bring up this article too. I don't know if you saw it. The CryptoSol posted as well about, somebody wrote an article about it, and Cabana was like, "Hey Grok, was this word salad sack of crap written by AI?" And then several hallmarks of AI generated content to make it read like a word salad sack of crap. So this is the article CryptoSol posted. Articles like this are linked deeply flawed, but any advertising, good advertising, right? And this is the one that was written about it based on, I think, the Look on Chain. I'll say Look into RH. Look on Chain post. Did Richard Hart just move $600 million ETH amid Tornado Cash trial and SC after? This whole thing reads like very, like, what do those things have to do together? That was a total SEC victory. Like, it reads very, very one-sided, very negative. Surprise. So,
and with questionable English word placement.
That was the AI deal on that too. But like, if you read it, I skimmed through it and I was like, they're like, what was it? I just want to show one part. I was just like, what are you talking about? It's not simply just a privacy tool in regulators' eyes. It's like, it's literally been removed from the sanction list. So it is legal to use, and
The
privacy
tool.
is, agencies essentially not to manage complaint closed out a nearly 2-year legal fight to put rich headlines regulars notice. Yeah, and he super won. And like how like this is like such a, I mean, this whole article could be turned into this like amazing piece about how, this victory for the community, but it's turned into, whoa, these suspicious things there's two things that are suspicious together. None of it's bad, but could be bad. So it's kind of, what was the one I was trying to get to, the one piece where it's like, what happens next will depend on whether exchanges flag the wallets, whether on-chain analytics tighten links further, or where regulators or prosecutors decide there's more beneath this. Or
Flag the wallet is what? It's like a guy who moved stuff. Like
literally, it's like saying, hey, you can't move that much money. It's not fair. What is going on? I don't get it.
I think ETH bros are sweating, maybe. like I could sell my ETH, and I'm sure they would all be very sad. But if Richard sells his ETH, well, that could be the top for this year.
Literally, you could be like, instead of talking about Richard Hart, talk about Vitalik and how he moves 600 million ETH with the ETH Foundation. He'll be like, winning move from Vitalik. ETH Foundation looking beautiful. Like there's the next AI article. Like ridiculous.
Perhaps
Anyways,
Vitalik may own this site. Seems possible.
Vitalik, don't flutter bags, Vitalik. Come on. I wanted to put this one up here too. I thought it was really, really good post. Actually, I want to read a little bit of it. And again, and another thing I want to say is, I think, again, a position probably a lot of people have when talking about the treasury. I guess it's not treasury anymore. I guess we're not even on the list. Whether it's treasury or not, like none of it, to me, it doesn't matter. Like it was listed as treasury, talked about as treasury. That's how people find it. That's how people relate to it. That's how they understand it. Okay. All the nuance and stuff, that's community can figure that out. But talking about it in general, I know it can seem like gross because like, oh, we need the rich man to pump our bags. That's not why it's like interesting to talk about to me. Like it's interesting to talk about because there are so many different things that can happen with it. And it's a huge notable thing in the community that's going on. So I don't know what world, I don't think it's a very interesting world where we're like, hey, this big thing just happened, but let's just focus on DeFi. Let's just talk about HEX more. It's like this big thing just happened. I think we could probably get more eyeballs, more marketing, more people interested in it, keep more people around if they do think that carrot is dangling, whether it's ever used or not. So it's not, you don't have to believe or feel the need that the money has to be used to pump up the ecosystem and all that stuff for PulseChain to be successful. You don't have to believe that in order to still think it's interesting and notable and relevant to talk about, and to be able to get some points outside the ecosystem with, hey guys, any of your other founders have $600 million in ETH they can use to support the ecosystem, whether it ever happens or not. That's an interesting thing that people, I think, want to hear.
Totally. And like I've seen multiple posts about it from other non-PulseChain influencers, where they're, they're negative, they're positive, or they're just like, whoa, look at this, right? Like, which I imagine was part of the intent in moving that ETH was to, draw some just comments in general from the peanut gallery. Yeah, but if it makes them look closer, I think some of them are going to get bullish, right? If some of that ETH does seem through anonymous, wallets to be deployed on PulseChain, the moment that starts, I think a lot of those guys who are, maybe not as engaged as they should be will become extremely engaged because they actually understand the numbers, right? Be like, oh, that was 600 million ETH, and like, oh, just whatever, 1,000 ETH just flowed into PulseChain that somebody thinks is connected to that, like, tip of the iceberg kind of thing. We could see some outside action.
What's the downside? I would ask you, like, what's the downside? Like, what's the downside to having an entity that could, put money in the ecosystem? I don't get it. It's like you don't need to rely on it to see it as a positive, right?
The downside is people's expectations that entity will put money into the ecosystem and of what quantity of money it will put into the ecosystem, right? And then and the timeline, right? Which is probably the biggest thing. The thing that most people cry about is the timeline. So
I want to address that.
I would not be surprised if that entity does put all of that in the ecosystem, but like the timeline will not be what most people will want, right? Like, which is tomorrow, today, yesterday, right?
Yeah. I want to address that because I think that is the point. I think from this that kind of gets lost on me because it doesn't make me at least conscious. Like when I think about it at face value, having that carrot dangling there, having that maybe event that might happen there doesn't make me have expectation. But it makes me like, wow, that's cool. Like that's a cool, notable, interesting thing. So I could see how, again, I can sympathize with this. Hey, we don't want to turn the ecosystem into the ecosystem of expectations. We don't want people to be here only because they're waiting for Richard to pump it. I get that. But I think it doesn't need to be like that. That's not the way I look at it. And that it doesn't need to, you can't control what people do or what people expect. So it's like not, it's one of those things. I don't pretend to think that if we all just talk about DeFi all the time and we all just, stake HEX, we all do all these things that people are just never going to expect things that we don't want them to expect. I don't pretend to have that type of control, and nor do I think it exists. So for me, it is this, hey, open, talk about all the stuff, all the interesting stuff going on. Let people decide what expectations they want to have, what they want to do. And hopefully less of them will have these unreasonable things and stop putting timelines on stuff and start getting upset because bags haven't pumped at a certain time. But I don't pretend I can control that. And it's just, this thing of like, I don't know. I don't want to spend time to be like, oh, we got to save these people from doing these things. Like, risk diode and all that stuff too. I think risk diode has its place, but it's one of those, I think people use it in not a good way sometimes, because if Richard talked about PDI, he said it's garbage. Oh, he should have never said that because risk diode. It's like, well, he said it because he thought it would have an impact to tell people something. Now, whether you believe he's 69D chess or whatever, or
he actually answered that in one of his on the AMA day. He, with various expletives, because somebody asked about, well, why have you said it? Whatever, they count like 43 times if it's bad. He's like, he said like the risk diode only works till everybody knows about the coin, then it doesn't work anymore, and then you have to just tell people what you think. So like, once again, extremely clear. I totally understand, but not everybody does.
Yeah. So that's it's one of those things. And all right. Anyways, let me get to this one. I think this is pretty inspiring too. And again, if you like any of the coins, you like PDI or whatever, and you think he's just playing a game there, then best of luck to you. But I tend to take him at face value. Yeah, for a lot of stuff. See on the other side, Hexkins, when I look back at the last 4 years, I can honestly say I've never witnessed anything quite like this. The hope, the despair, the laughter, the madness, we've lived it all together. We stood shoulder to shoulder in the trenches through conspiracies, scams, chaos, bad actors, good actors, heroes and villains. And somehow we're still standing. The HEX and PulseChain community has shown me a strength, a loyalty, and a unity unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. You can't fake that. You can't buy that. You can only live it. Some of us come here for wealth, some for freedom, some for the tech, but we all stayed because of each other. I've watched people grow, fall apart, rebuild, and rise again. I've seen the mental breakdowns turn into breakthroughs. I've seen people lose everything and still show up for the next guy. I've seen love, loss, betrayal, hope, healing, the full spectrum of the human condition, all under one banner, HEX. And maybe this is the end of something, or maybe it's just the beginning of something far greater. We don't know yet. That's the beauty of it. But what I do know is that I've had the best 4 years of my life here. I've learned more about people and myself than I ever thought possible. Some of you I feel proud of, some of you I feel sorry for, and all of you I feel connected to. Richard Hart, man, he sparked something. Whether he realized it or not, he created a movement, not just a coin. He built an idea, a living, breathing network of minds that refuse to give up. That's his legacy. That's our legacy. HEX wasn't just a product. It was a mirror showing each of us who we are when the money's gone, when the hype fades, when all that's left is belief. If Richard decides to keep the SAC funds, that's his business. He's earned that right. He's already given back more than most people could comprehend. And if he chooses to do more, well, we'll take it as a blessing. Either way, the story continues. So to all my fellow Hexicans, Pulse Chads, dreamers, doubters, traders, believers, whatever side you're on, know this. What we built together can't be undone. The world can mock it, and the haters can twist it, and the markets can shake it, but they can't kill the spirit of this community. We were part of something historic, and when history looks back, it won't just see Hex. It'll see us. So if this is the end, then what a run. And if it's the beginning, then I'll see you on the other side with grace, dignity, and respect for everything we've shared, everything we've lost, and everything still left to gain. We are the movement. We are the legacy, and we are not done yet. Boom.
Wow, that's pretty intense.
I like it.
Who is this Mikey.pls?
I put the link in the chat. I don't know him that well either, but boy, I like the words. Very well said. Yeah, what do you think of that? When you reflect on the last 4 years, are we at the start of something? Like, is this a pivotal moment in the community? What do you think?
I think there's a huge pivotal moment, because it's like once again, and like we're looking at it in a bullish way, right? Which I think the majority of the community is. And when I say it, I mean the SAC funds moving. But there's like a test of the community there of like all these SAC funds that we've been looking at that have been sitting in this wallet that we made special websites to watch, and we did all these things. Now they're gone. We can't see them anymore. So there's like a test of faith, which from what I see on X, by and large, we've already passed. Like it's either status quo, like nothing happened, or it's people are bullish. 95%. There's the regular hecklers in the crowd. So like, but we're starting to get the notice of other communities, obviously, because of this. And then what happens next will, tell part of the tale for PulseChain. But I think all of this is part of someone's plan, and the plan probably has many, many details, and we're only privy to a few.
That's why I started to, when you asked me, we're talking about what I think about this and moving around. If it just happened out of nowhere and there wasn't all these other things, I'm trying not to just put stuff together. I'm trying not to like imagine all these bullish things that are leading up to this one moment. I'm trying to put that aside. I'm sure I have some bias, but at the same time, I also can just see, being here, you've been here day after day and stuff too, just watching and seeing all these micro moves in the community, taking a step back. If this is, just another piece of, these big things that are coming that we don't expect, but it will be interesting to see some more. I don't know that I want to ask you that too in a second, like some more clips coming in for buying or otherwise supporting ecosystem with DeFi, like however it manifests. Like there's a whole other 2 hours we can talk about that. But it seems like there are these pieces that just keep moving. I feel like it
is totally lining up and leading to something big. And just even if you just look at Richard alone, like he went from not saying anything and not doing anything to like, oh look, he launched Pup Tires. Oh look, he updated the PulseChain and PulseX websites. Like next. Like, oh look, we have a better block explorer. Like these continuous improvements, and then like, oh look, he's responding to the community for 12 hours at a time. And like, I think the next thing we'll talk about could be is Richard's live streaming. Look at that. Like in the sack bag moving amidst all this fury of activity is, it certainly doesn't seem unconnected. So I think it's okay to speculate that like, if my best guess is like, yeah, that sack bag is probably going to move to PulseChain, and there could be various things that happen there, but I think it's going to pump PulseChain. Like it seems like the most obvious thing. The question is mostly when. To me, like in my head, and just my opinions, not financial advice, but like, yeah, mostly I'm just looking at when, and it's I don't get to decide when, but like the logical time and the logical way it could be done, I think it's worth talking about.
And you talked about during the just all the questions and the answer, stuff the other day, he mentioned there was one, I don't have it in front of me, but he talked about how, hey, there was, 20 million of money that went in and the price just got sold back down. So how do you reconcile those two of like, okay, that happened before. I mean, does it just not matter at all because that was a different macro condition, and if it ever happens, when it happens again, like if and when it happens again, it will be during a period of like, there's momentum, it'll be more than 20 million, it'll be 100 million. It'll be set up in a certain way in the DeFi protocols to just pump everything over time in this like amazing machine that no one's ever seen before. Like we have like this new invention for crypto. Like how do you, because he acknowledged that happened before, yet we have all this tornado cashed out. What do you think?
Well, like I can't say how Richard would do it, and he's smarter than me. I'm sure he's got some ideas, but like if it was me, I would anonymize that money to the point where it was either impossible or too tedious to follow. So instead of like, instead of like 100 wallets with $1 million in them, I'd have like millions of wallets with $1,000 in them that would, you'd like small amounts of money that would come into PulseChain. You can put something through Tornado Cash once, you can put $1 million through, and then you could take 100,000 and put it through 10 more times. And then you could take 10,000 and put it through 10 more times. And then you could split that up into different wallets, have it come to PulseChain in like small chunks that like people mostly won't get around to watching and would be very hard to connect. And then like, and then you could set up to, pump the chain over time anonymously with varying sizes of transactions, not just giant clips, right, that people can follow. And the technique that I would probably employ would be to punish sellers. Meaning that like, okay, if the first pump was 25% and people sold in the first pump, the next pump would be 50%. And if people sold in that pump, the next pump is 100%, right? So it'd be like, you would punish sellers as you go and also do it incrementally in a way that, it would be hard to follow and hard to comprehend even what was happening and who was doing the buying, what these wallets were doing. Probably even set up dummy transactions for the wallets, like make them buy some dick with butt token. Oh, it can't be Richard. He bought dick with butt, right? Like for example, I'm not showing you dick with
butt. Dick is
butt.
a nickname for Richard. Come on, follow the string. Follow the evidence here. Dick is another name for Richard. So it must be him buying the dick with butt.
Yeah, so you can like you could completely obfuscate those wallets, make them do weird stuff that they wouldn't normally do. Like, obviously you could have code or bots to do this, or you could just keep pressing the button all day. And like over not that much time, you could pump millions of dollars into the chain and completely change the outlook, of the chain in general, right? It'd be like, wow, like it goes up 20% every second day. No one knows why. No one knows how. All the wallets that are doing it seem to be just regular DeFi wallets. Like there's no way to track it back to Richard. Like, I think that'd be the play, and that sellers feel FOMO to get back in, right? Like, oh, you sold at sack price. Oh shit, man, it's 3 times sack price now. You need to get back in, right? Like they're gonna feel that FOMO if they sell too early. If they sell break even, well, they're buying back in at 2x what they paid. So I think that's probably the way to do it, is to keep it going and have it combined with the massive never before seen marketing, right? That hasn't really hit yet and that has barely started, to tell you the truth, from what I understand of the numbers. So that like people who are getting the marketing tablets are like, oh, what's this PulseChain? Check it out. Oh, it's up 20% today. I'll check again later. A week later, it's up 100%. And then they check like a day later or like 6 hours later, it's up another 50%. Like to create FOMO, which would vastly increase the quality of that marketing as well.
Do you think it's a chicken and egg type of thing where, we all want the chain to be self-sufficient? Like of course, getting money pumped into it to give us it's kind of like a kickstart or a marketing, you can call it all these different things. There's all these advantages to having that. But unless we see a perpetual buy pressure, DeFi protocol deployed in PulseChain, where the SAC just goes into that and just every day, it's just like this thing that nobody knows about yet, new technology. Hey, you never know. Like maybe the devs have been busy on that.
They have to be that. Rich has proven he's willing to work 12-hour days for a good cause. So like, he could be the DeFi program that does this.
The tricks up the sleeve. Yeah.
We don't need it to be that, but like there's a lot of the community's energy went into that sack bag, right? And like if that energy gets deployed on the chain, the community would surely be renewed and become much stronger, even if there was a big sell-off of of pumps. It would be like a totally different atmosphere. Other chains would look at us completely different, especially the ones that we flipped. They would be like, they'd be kind of spicy. Like it would be good. Combine that with some of the other things that haven't happened yet, like being on one of the big DeFi exchanges, which honestly is just a money problem. Like it's a problem you could fix with money. It could be on Binance, it could be on Kraken, whatever, with money. Like that's their main requirement, right? So
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get there.
Yeah, I don't think anyone, again, if you're here for DeFi, right? You don't want it to be 2028 and be like, hey, Richard still buying HEX today? Hey, did you buy any HEX today? Like, yeah, nobody wants that, right? Like if you want a legit chain over, like, again, if it's whales do what they want to do and all that stuff, and nobody wants to sit there and be like, okay, we need this guy to buy these stuff so to make this thing keep going burr. But I think that's where it is. I think there is this, again, big brain guy, there probably is a way to do this where it is the chain does get energized, and he said green candles beget more green candles. I would say even green candles beget more engagement, more community, more builders, like attracting people over, giving them a reason to go build on it, other than just hoping they're going to get a pump one day. That kind of organic growth and that kind of thing, like that's got to be, I feel like that is, I would not be surprised if that is PulseChain's destiny, where it's like, man, we had a rough past couple of years. Man, it was hard getting off the ground, the macro conditions, founder, all this stuff happened. But then we started getting, the whales came back and we got this boost or whatever. And then we started attracting people, and then the people beget more people. The builders beget more people. And then the green candles, they're great too. Everybody's having a good time. We can't stop. Like we can't stop compounding in an upward trajectory. And nobody,
time with PulseChain, it seemed like it's missing pieces, right? And some of the pieces like recently got added, like upgraded block explorer, like better main websites, like, and then like one of the pieces is also green candles, right? So I believe any missing piece, like let's say limit orders on PulseX, like will be added at the right time, and like green candles again will be added at the right time. I think it's probably part of his plan.
I kind of want there never to be limit orders on PulseX, just so we'll like keep asking for it. It'd be 2030. Yeah. And then maybe limit orders next year. Maybe it's just be like the devs never do it because they just know
just
people.
To leave one item undone.
Yeah. Just to add to the intrigue.
Like how would limit orders help? If your plan was to pump the chain, why would you want people to have limit orders, right? Like it's not like it's intuitive that would be bad, not good. So I feel like there's no limit orders for a reason, because if Richard wanted to buy something up, you don't want people to be able to auto sell into it. Of course, there's various liquidity options, but like you're cutting out a big part of the auto dumping if you don't put limit orders on PulseX. So I imagine that was part of it. It's not that hard, as far as dev stuff goes.
Just let the community do it. The community can build out other stuff. Like the PulseChain devs, they don't need to build everything. Especially, it seems like Richard's prioritizing things that keep the fundamentals intact and only strengthen them instead of weaken them. Like, all this stuff. So the community can build all this stuff. Like that's my position is like, I don't care if it ever has PulseX ever has limit orders. I imagine other protocols and other community stuff will have limit orders that I can use whenever I need to as well. But I wanted to get to this post from Storyteller 17 Martin over the past couple hours. So it basically talks about 160K ETH from the SAC funds with 26 new wallets. I guess Tornado cashed out to that just mean like 26 different Tornado cashed things, I guess. And then this tweet, this is the interesting part. This tweet followed. So if you believe it's Richard doing it, and then if you believe there's a correlation, could it be or could not be? But I want to get your take on this. It's much hard for someone to predict what happened to the price of an asset when a large entity with tons of money is unpredictably buying it. Soon you might expect all the ETH to go into Tornado Cash where you lose complete track of it and the real fun might begin. So that's one piece of like, okay, maybe after a while, an M&A set kicks in, it's all anonymous. The ETH can go where the ETH needs to go. Maybe it gets bridged to PulseChain, maybe starts buying, whatever. But this tweet from him that happened around the same time, Richard says, usually when you see people lined up outside gold shops to buy, it would be an easy top to call. However, when you see that nation states selling U.S. treasuries and filling up their vaults with physical gold, I'm not sure all the retail buying in the world compares. So you can't just guess what retail is going to do like you might in many markets. You have to guess what central banks are going to do. When I saw this, And then it's hard for me to predict what central bank's going to do. When I saw this, I thought, is he talking about how, again, if he's going to deploy any funds and stuff, he's looking at what the central bank's going to do. He's going to follow that pattern. Like that's what he's tracking to see when the condition's right to make any big moves. That's what my first instinct was when I read that. But what's your take?
Well, I hate to say it, but in this case, I kind of see Richard as the central bank, right? So, once those funds get deployed, that bank is no longer in existence. So it moves more towards DeFi into the community. But banks have smart guys that make smart decisions. That's why they're banks. So I suspect that he's probably looking for the master play of making us big, not in one moment, but over whatever amount of time is necessary. But is it a bad thing? No. I'm okay with centralization of some things, like a treasury wallet, for example. If you have a smart guy at the reins, it's usually better than a whole bunch of kind of smart guys. So
I see. So there's two different ways to interpret this. So I think you interpret it differently than me. I was thinking if he's actually talking about the markets, actually talking about looking at what central banks are going to do and seeing maybe, if there is some SAC funds injected, for example, that it'll follow, he'll be watching to see, interest rate cuts and stuff like that. But I think your take on this sounds like he's talking about just the entity that may do this type of stuff and getting more comfortable with centralization. Yeah. Well, centralization of what is the phrase? You need the network to be decentralized, but the wallets or I can't remember the phrase, but the wallets or the supplies matters less or something like. What is the rallying call for that fast? I forget. Something like that.
The rallying call for what? Sorry.
The rallying call for why does 90% of the HEX belong to the founder? It's network needs to be decentralized, but the holders, centralization can be good with the holders. I think it's something like that. There's some phrase that rolls off the tongue better than what I said.
Yeah, that is a tough argument sometimes, but yeah, I've argued on both sides of that table for sure. But I don't know, one I come back to one really smart guy often can win when a bunch of normal people don't. So at this moment, I'm happy with this arrangement. I don't looking at it now. I don't think that was the intent of what he said, but I'm still getting that out of it that we have a central bank, but it's about to dissolve and it's a co-op bank and it's going to pay out to the community. That's, my viewpoint.
Gotcha. I wanted to get to probably two more pieces here that I think are interesting. One is, hey, somebody got a new tablet. Sorry, a friend of somebody got a new tablet.
Yeah. This
My
one
mate,
is funny.
his mate in the US just got that in the mail. 100, almost 200K.
Don't look it up to your Wi-Fi, man. Whatever you do.
That's what, instead of electronic LCD tablet enclosures, say, do not connect to Wi-Fi. Do not do that. Do not. So this is this is someone posting for someone else who got it. And then the comments are, some non-community members saying, no good. I'm not sure what that emoji is, actually. That's an interesting one. I thought it was dynamite, but I think it's also a wilting flower, I guess. Is that what it is? Wilting rose.
Here.
Let's see. Oh, if I zoom in, it'll go that way. Sorry, I think it's a wilted flower. Anyways, most of the conversation is like that. And then some of us yeah, where's the one? Yeah. What's the problem with it? It's HEX. That one got 77 comments. I like Ben's comment. Where were you when they said Bitcoin is a scam? Nice. And then, yeah. Can you tell me, I like this one too from Hexo. Can you tell me how it's a scam? It's been going for nearly 6 years. It's a long con, man. It's a long con, just got to keep it going.
Immutable code, it will be a forever con.
People get rich, people get poor, but the con keeps going on. Or you could literally compare that to any other entity or organization or thing in the world. What do you think of, These are lots of these. It's just a free gift. If you had the name of coins you liked, you'd be glad. Oh, that's actually a good one from Coffee. Yeah, if it had the name of the coins you liked, you would like it. Yeah, that's a good point. So mega marketing, is it working? What's the latest on that?
Well, I think what that fellow doesn't realize, like Ben Simpson there, he works for us now. Thanks for your service, Ben. Like he's posting the PulseChain tablet, he's calling it a scam. He's giving us an opportunity to respond, and then then he continues to interact with the community somewhat in a reasonably coherent, not super rude kind of way. So, which also gives us a chance to get him to take a closer look if we can. And like obviously some smart people responded. Probably there are some less friendly replies, but like, yeah, Ben works for us now. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate it. If this happens 50,000 more times in this cycle, like it will actually be huge. Then, like, how many views does he have? 180K, right? Like,
yep.
Like every time this happens, it's a good thing because we're able to dominate the conversation, to ratio anybody who's not falling into line, and many people will probably take a look at HEX because of him and the 49,999 people that come after him who make a similar post.
I've talked about this before, where the amount of it's a win-win for people to post it, because if you want engagement, and you've received one of these tablets, or your friend does, or you find out about it, you have some way to talk about it. It's a win-win if you want the engagement, because a lot of these other posts, again, they're just normal, like, hey, you get a few hundred, whatever. One post of his,
he did a follow-up post on it, he liked the engagement, right? Like, and he's clearly some sort of crypto influencer. I didn't know who he was till the other day, but like, there's a payoff for them, and like, oh, look, these people are talking to me. He's more likely to talk to us about it again. Look at Gabrielle there. He's still posting about HEX, right?
Yeah.
In hilarious ways.
Shout out to Gabrielle Haynes. Yeah. He's doing some hilarious videos over there.
Fantastic. And then we have like the Kim Tran example, where we have like an actual crypto curious person who's like, oh, this is kind of interesting. What is this, guys? Can you tell me more? And who's been engaging, like, and she's not as big as these guys, but like, it's like she's been engaging with the community, right? So if we could replicate any of these, like replicate Gabrielle, replicate Ben Simpson, replicate Kim Tran, like 50, 100, 1 million times, right? Like the math will start to take over, right? It's like many people will know about HEX and PulseChain in one way, shape, or form, and will have, and like some of them will have done their own research, and those ones will win.
Let's make some more Kim Trans. Yeah, she's been doing great out there. She's like
my favorite one so far, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, just reading this post, like, it just seems so like not even the benefit of the doubt. Like if I got something, I got something in the mail and it was from, whatever, Lightning coin. I'm just making up a name. I'm sure it's a coin, but like Lightning coin, sure, in the made up name scenario. And it was it's a tablet. I'd be like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Like, wow, they're serious about marketing. They actually went out of the way to make a electronic device to try to, they're not going to onboard me because I'm not interested, but like, I would respect that they actually spent the money, spent the time, did the effort, got their stuff together, sent them out. And that looks legitimate. It looks interesting. It looks cool. My first thing wouldn't say, now I'm trying to think of like whatever a coin, is there a coin? All right, let's just make it up because I can't think of the top of my head. But like, imagine there's a coin that you think is a scam. Like in this case, they think it's HEX. So like, oh, it's a scam. There's some other coin that you think is a scam, and you get a tablet. You get the same thing from them, and it's got that coin's logo and all the marketing, onboarding stuff. I'm trying to think.
I might be like, hey guys, there's a scam out here. Be careful, right? Yeah. Like, and
I think I might. Well, at first, I think my first instinct would be, whoa, they're actually. I might question, is it a scam? Like, do I know for sure it's a scam? Because this looks organized. This looks pretty good. And then maybe I would post about it. Exactly. I'd be like, oh, look at this scam. And then just a whole 180K views later. Pretty interesting stuff.
I think of it as like sort of a multi-part potential marketing plan, in that, like, okay, we have three examples here. only two of them we could see. So we have Ben Simpson, or to a lesser degree, Gabrielle, because he's funnier, where they kind of said negative things, said, "Oh, it's a scam," right? But they gave us the publicity. So that's one. It's like, I think we win overall. Two is like the Kim Tran example, where it's like you find a person who's able to engage and is okay with being public. And that's a very interesting example, because it's like you're making micro influencers, right? Like Kim Tran, who basically didn't use X as far as I could tell, had like 36 followers when I first looked at her, now has like about 900 or something, right? And posts about like crypto and PulseChain and stuff like that. She's a micro influencer in her own right. She's on other things, TikTok or whatever too. So it's like you're making influencers. What if you made 1 million influencers that had started with 1,000 followers? Like the math is crazy. But then the most important group, and I've done a lot of advertising stuff in my life, and like your best buyers are usually pretty freaking quiet. They just buy. They don't talk to you about it. They don't make any complaints, right? They just buy. They don't tell you anything. So like we're going to hit those two. We just won't know it in the same way, because they won't post on X, "Hey, I got this thing and now I'm buying it." No, they'll be like, "Well, this was cool. I'm gonna look closer." They look closer, they buy. So those three groups, the combined power, when you multiply it by millions of pieces, which I think it's going to be, yeah, math is probably good.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. I think the compounding effect of being able to organically grow not just holders and investors and community members, but influencers, like people who are just, either they could be small or big too. They could be people who are like just, like Kim Tran, who just has like a big growing following stuff now, and she happens to like her community because of this experience. Or they could be already have a big following and be like, actually, I wonder if I can make some money off this thing, or whatever their, motivations are. And then they start participating and they start posting, and like, oh, wow, that's yeah. I'd say the other thing I would see about this, like, one would be like, okay, I would question, is it actually a scam? Two, I would say I would probably post about it and then see, like, maybe try to warn people, no, save everyone, like, don't fall for the scam. And then three, if I got this many views and this many posts and saw this many community members telling me the counter argument to my position, I would be like, I don't know. Like, is it a scam? Like, I would again go back to one. Is it a scam? Like, there's that many people. They don't all seem delusional. Some of them seem to have some pretty good brands.
Like they see different stuff. There's a good, like, there's a man, there's a woman. They have like, very natural looking accounts. They're saying normal things. They have lots of followers. Like, I would question myself.
Exactly. So I think it's working. I think good. All right. The one other big thing I want to cover, a lot of just big pieces this week, last week or so too, is this post that I have some interesting, I'm kind of conflicted on it, because I still think outrage marketing it definitely has some, my position has not changed on it. I've talked about before. It's had downsides, obviously, but it grew the social network, it grew the following, it had so much ROI. But I think the one statement on this that I think is and he made a, not correction, but like he did have an amendment to this too, which I think makes a lot of sense. Like, hey, I couldn't really do that kind of marketing because you may have expectations, all that stuff. That was like perfect, like to go along with it too. I think when you said this piece that other people probably struck other people as well, you only get one chance to make a first impression. That is the downside of outrage marketing, is there are some people who will see it and they will never like him again, no matter how good he does in the world, no matter if he saves their life with medical research, no matter if he's a saint and he does all these things, they will always have that bad taste in their mouth. And I think here, to me, he is pointing out the one downside to the outrage marketing. You could say, oh, it attracted SEC and stuff. Yeah, there's all that stuff too. But like, I think the one thing is there's so many people who just won't like him no matter what happens. Now, luckily for us, there's plenty of people in the world. There's a lot of people in the world. So there's a lot of people who could like him again. And there's some forgiving people in the world. And if they're not even going off their, emotions and stuff, they could be thinking, hey, this guy knows how to make a lot of money. I could make a lot of money if I follow him. So I'll do that thing. So it's very, I would suggest everyone look past the first, like, oh no, nobody likes Richard thing. Oh, they're going to like him when they see they can make some money from him. or his ecosystem.
I get the point of like why they would be, like put off, right? Like honestly, like I'm reasonably new, like compared to you or Crispy, somebody like that in the community. And like, I looked at those things, like the outrage things, and I was like, yeah, dude, like I had to slow myself down and look further and look back and talk to people to be like, okay, is this good? Right? Like I had to do my due diligence, which is good. I should do it anyway, but I had to do more due diligence to make sure, like, okay, is this person actually like this? No. Okay, I will continue, right? Whereas not everybody's going to do that, obviously. So, like it was a risky play. I'm sure he understood that. Though the amendment that he made in the bottom there, that does explain a lot, right? Like, oh, I can't do regular marketing, or I couldn't do regular marketing at that time because SEC, governments, blah, blah, blah. So that was one of the only things left was, just outrage marketing. So it's like, okay, that makes sense now. I'm glad he said that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what, when I was reading it, I was like, and then he said that, I was like, oh yeah, that is the piece that kind of, is lingering there of like, okay, we got to have no expectations. So if you're going to not punch through the noise and you were going to do all these things that would build up your, following the other way, marketing. I mean, yeah, I guess you could make a point of, okay, you could have, why not, why not do marketing efforts kind of like what we're doing now? Why not do that from 4 years ago, type of thing, make them just post HEX tablets or something at the time. I don't know.
But I think that the legal ramifications of even doing what we're doing now, like combined with the sacrifice, combined with all the things that were going on, like probably that would have been a dangerous choice. But like, just like realistically, do you think Richard is good at outrage marketing, right? Like, is that one of his skill sets? Like, I think he can outrage people, but to turn it into productive marketing, like, I don't think that's his, like, he did okay. I don't think that's like the perfect fit for him, though, right? We can look at somebody else who kind of does outrage marketing. We'll say B Roots. Like it's a different style, right? But like one guy does it all day long. The other guy, smart guy, builds blockchains, builds crypto, and like has done this only as a temporary measure. Like he's not going to be the best in the world at it.
Well, I think the other part too is he, with the outrage marketing, I think he onboarded a lot of people who have no patience and share little to no hexagon values, or at least can't seem to do that for however many years you want to say that we need to do that for. So I think that was the part where, yeah, it was, there's some definitely downsides with it, but I don't know. I still think the ROI, there's a high ROI doing it, definitely some downsides, and it doesn't matter going forward. Like, it happened, and I don't think it's going to ruin PulseChain. I think people are easy to forgive when they see green candles.
The redemption arc is actually great marketing, right? Like,
it's a great story. It's going to be a great story.
Richard did this, but now he's done this, and now he started that redemption arc on purpose and spoke of it. Now he's humble Richard. Now he's black shirt Richard, right? And like, so like that becomes part of the lore and actually makes, it in some ways it makes the outrage marketing more effective longer term, because like, oh, this guy used to be crazy, but now he's great. But like, depending on the person's perspective, right? Like, but like, to have like humble black shirt Richard back and like, oh, okay, like this was, this was an act for a purpose. Like, you'll be able to bring a lot of people back into the fold, and then new people like may just meet humble black shirt Richard and be like, oh, okay, this guy's smart and he knows about stuff, and and there's a community here, and that will just be the win. I think that will be the win. We just need to get that guy on the screen. Like, that's the going to be one of the keys to success.
Oh yeah, I want to get to a couple questions. I'll ask you what do you think is coming up in the future, but definitely fireworks, everyone, fireworks. Jace Spudnik, what do you think about Vitalik, CZ, and other exchange and protocol founders don't interact with RH and Twitter? I just think there's no reason for them to. Like, I'm sure they've heard of him. Didn't Vitalik have Richard on like the list of main characters that are still exist? Is that the thing that happened a year or two ago? So I know they probably know of him, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do start interacting more. if when PulseChain starts taking off and they have a reason to, and they're like, oh, actually that Richard Hart guy's not so bad. I can see that from CZ. Yeah, everyone.
Billionaires not know each other, right? Like, how many billionaires are there? Like, of course they know each other.
I mean, you could get real conspiratorial and be like, they already know them, and when ready, they're part of it too. They're going to start promoting it. You never know.
A deal could have been made years ago for all we know, right? Like, but like, like there's only, how many billionaires are there in the world? Like does Elon Musk know Richard Hart's name? Like, almost certainly, right? Like, have they corresponded? Like, I have no idea, right? But like, as far as I know, there's a special secret billionaire Twitter where all like 200 of them hang out and make jokes. Like it seems possible.
There's a signal group with all the main characters of crypto in it. I can see that.
Indeed. Yeah, crypto or just money, right? Like, it's it starts to be a pretty short list when you add that extra zero.
Rumored billionaire, boy, I think he is and will be many billionaire, multi-deca billionaire. I believe is the future for Richard Hart. Tchaikovsky, where was it moved in relation to where'd the ETH go? It got Tornado Cash, and we do not know, because Tornado Cash. So it was moved from the sacrifice wallets. There's a set of wallets that had ETH in them. It was moved from, my understanding is, it was moved from there through Tornado Cash, a certain amounts at a time. And then privacy steps in. So we'll see if there will be a correlation. I don't know what else. Hopefully there's plenty of whales that'll be putting in 20, 50, 100 million clips into a PulseChain over the next couple of years. Maybe not all at once, but maybe spread out over time. But yeah, it was moved from the wallets through a privacy protocol, Tornado Cash, mixing privacy protocol, and we shall see if we're able to have a correlation with them again.
I imagine some of it we will be able to. Probably the ones we're supposed to find, we will find, and some we will not find. And that's probably a pretty good play, right? Like, to have like, oh, this wallet's got $1 million in it. It's probably from this Tornado Cash. Oh, it bridged to PulseChain. Like, that creates great sizzle. And then to have like, oh, there's 1,000 more wallets carrying kit with like $100 million in them, or 10,000 more wallets that nobody is noticing because everybody's following the one with $1 million, right? Like, that could be the play.
This one, 40K Dan Durma had no idea how to do ETH Web3. Yeah, I never messed with Ethereum until I guess HEX. I think HEX did make me start using HEX, and Rich talked about a million times, Uniswap and Ethereum. I didn't want to do Ethereum. I like Bitcoin. And then, Richard had so many streams talking about so many, like, here's how Uniswap works, stuff like that. So
HEX is the reason that we all know how DeFi works, right? Like, it's like the amount of knowledge that this community has. I've been hanging out with other communities lately, like as an outreach thing. And like, I am the tech advisor by default when I walk into the room. Like, and you could be too, and like half the guys in the audience today, right? Like, we are so good, and it's Richard's fault. Richard
Mangood. I'll get to one more question. Sorry, chat. I gotta wrap up. But PulseX, would the community turn bearish if RH started a new SINS foundation to help financially back Aubrey de Grey? I mean, I think I've speculated before that I think that's the end game, is to get as rich as possible and then start, the Hart Foundation, start some sort of longevity thing, whether Aubrey's in charge or works there or whatever, and to save your pocketbook and crypto, and then save your life for medical research, make the hugest impact in the world, one of the biggest you could possibly make. Interplanetary species, longevity research, maybe something to do with AI. Those are like some huge impacts on the world. So I don't know. I would say, I said before, like, I think after glory that would happen. I don't think pre-glory. But what do you think, Fast?
I think, like, if suddenly it was announced that Richard Hart donated $50 million to the Sense Foundation or something similar run by Aubrey, like that, people would see that as bearish if it happened tomorrow. There'd be speculation, but like, for billionaires to do humanitarian things is not bad. So like, yeah, that'd be great. Like, who doesn't want to live forever? Let's go.
I would like to live many hundreds of years, sir. That's right. Thank you, Franklin, for mentioning this. RHMax, please mention coffee market can make take over Sora 2. Is that Sora 2 or take Zora? Sora 2 is the AI thing from OpenAI, unless there's a different thing. We have enough positive members take it over. Yeah, this is coffee. I'll drop the link in the chat. You guys can check it out. But there's a platform. I haven't did it or checked it out yet, but I saw they did it.
I looked into it a little bit today. It's
yeah. What do you think?
Tires, but like a social platform, and it's on Base. It gets a lot of eyeballs. So Coffee has been, he's doing a test with it. I talked to this one lady, Crypto Empress, who I do DeFi calls with, and she does mostly things on other chains, and she has like a paid group, and I talk in there, and like they're all into this. They all see this, right? So to have like a PulseChain oriented presence there, it's not terrible.
Yeah, it's always hard to say which ones are going to catch on. And what was that one? Wasn't there another? What was that called? Was it called not Friendster?
Friend something.
Friend Tech. That was it, right? Friend Tech.
Friend Tech, something like that.
Friend Tech. I think Dipcatcher talked about it a lot too. But that was like the social network thing. I don't know. I haven't heard much of it. That's kind of like, will it become Facebook or will it become, MySpace? But hopefully, like if it's popular and we can get more exposure to PulseChain on it. I mean, we're over here doing Reddit, Yelp reviews. Where can we feed the AI good information about all the fun stuff? Be good. All right, everyone. we gotta wrap it up though. One more question for Ashley. Be PulseChain fast. Do you have any other streams planned for the rest of the night? You got about 14 more, right?
Yeah, no, 7 more appearances before midnight. No, actually, Monday is one of my quiet days. I only had one space on X, and then one meeting this morning, and then that's it for a day. But tomorrow, I will be on at least 3 different streams and at least 1 X space. So we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Fast putting in work. May you be madly rewarded, Mr. Abdul.
Oh, very nice. Thank you.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you want to take us out on? I just want to look at this picture of battered Richard. We've been through hell, but boy, we hope that he's leading the charge towards glory with the rest of us in here, fighting a good fight for freedom and mad gains. What's next? Is it, I talked about homecoming for Richard. I put that in the title, and is he, you mentioned live streaming and stuff earlier. What is after this, at this big event? What do you suspect we see next?
I am suspicious that the red notice is going to go away soon, and that we'll see Richard streaming, and that things are gonna be changed a lot. I think the boss is back. He's going to probably tune some people up, but there'll be some rewards involved as well, in my opinion. And things are going to look very different over the next 3 to 6 months. But yeah, I do not control that timeline. I do not control Richard Hart. I've been trying, but I've been unable to control Richard Hart. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. At the risk of, speculate on expectations, things been happening pretty fast. Yeah, it's like I don't know if that's going to slow down. Like even the time between movements in the sack bag. Like it was a week ago, we were all shouting about the 5,400 ETH that got moved. Right? We're like, oh, we're all talking about that all day long. And a week later now, like all of the ETH got moved, like 160,000 ETH. So it's like, yeah, that's pretty fast. And Richard, going from Richard chatting on X to Richard live streaming to Richard pumping the chain, or some other entity, or entities, or many, many, many anonymous wallets. Like, doesn't seem like a big stretch to me that could happen pretty fast. Bunch of crypto founders in a Signal chat that just like to kick it and talk about pumping their own bags. You never know. Hope some more next post. Yeah, I really think the Q&A, the AMA, what we've been talking about, we've called it, just felt like it's opening a door. It was like opening a door that's been closed for a long time. I don't know. I guess you could say that it was just because, okay, the community is
not good shape. All right, fine. I feel like doing it now. I don't know. It just seemed like, again, these things keep happening.
I think it's all a plan. Like, it has nothing to do with, like, I think he's aware of what we do more than most people know. That's just my opinion. Like, I have no way to tell. But I think he sees us. I think he knows what we're saying. He knows what we're doing. But like, he's not keying off of us. He's keying off of like crypto as a whole, markets as a whole. And he's had a plan that he might have had for years that is being enacted. We just have no idea how it's going to turn out. He talks about in the past, his favorite movie is The Game. You know, check that one out, guys. You may not see what's coming.
Well, his favorite Christmas movie is Die Hard. Another fun fact.
And that's trivia. Everyone's Christmas movie, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, there was a quote from him. I've been preparing for this my whole life. I don't think he says things like that lightly. I don't take it.
Nope.
All right, Fast Abdul at Fast Abdul, spelled the way it's spelled, on the X platform. He'll be streaming on his channel, on everyone's channel, pretty much this whole week.
And just turn on YouTube, type in Fast Abdul, you'll find.
I kind of want to do that. I'm going to go there and be like, wow, I didn't know he's on that show. Like, I do catch you on new shows every once in a while. I'm like, oh, I see he's on here, because I see you post on X too. I'm like, oh, there's another show. All right, man, I appreciate it. Great conversation as usual. And that's all we got for everyone today. Scivive and 5555. We are out.
HEX is complete. Project not complete. They're not the same thing. Promise returns and go build something. How much X is Bitcoin up now? 1,000x over a penny. It was designed to replace fiat currency. Back to the 10,000x. Smart fucker I am. Everyone else cries and whines like a little bitch. 1,000x over a penny. It was designed to replace fiat currency. Back to the 10,000x. Smart fucker I am. Well, then it was fucking designed. 10,000x, it's impossible. How can he do that? Listen, you stupid fucks. Everything else is up higher. Bitcoin to 2 million X. $1,500 fucking dollars.